Hello everyone, I am Hayden, and this is your ultimate guide to applying to UBC. In this video, I'll be talking about the grades that you're expected to have, how to find your perfect program, as well as what is the personal profile. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to stick around all the way until the end. So let's get started. So firstly, let's talk about grades. As you know, academics is a very important part to applying to any university, especially a competitive one like UBC. So one of the popular concerns that people have when applying to UBC is what grades do you really need? Do you need that 100%? Well, let me tell you firsthand, no, you do not need that 100%. Now, according to UBC's official story, they say that they weigh your application 50-50, 50% by your academic profile, which is your grades, and the other 50% is your personal profile, which is your personal statements. We'll be talking about both sides in this video, but first let's talk about the academic profile right now. In general, I would say you need around a 90%. And for my faculty, I'm in the Sauder School of Business, and during one of my orientation events, when I was in first year, actually one of the academic advisors actually mentioned that in my year, the academic admission average was actually at 95%, which means that the people that got in accepted on average has an average of 95% in high school. Now, I'm not gonna lie, to me that's kind of sus because all of my friends are significantly lower than that, in like the low 90s, like 91, 92 range, which, I mean, not to say that that's bad or anything, but if most of my friends are in 91, 92s. I'm not entirely sure how the average is 95. And considering my friends are quite smart, I don't see a world where they're all in the bottom 50%. But regardless, that is the official story by Sauder, so we'll just stick with that for now. But in general, I feel like for grades, you really just need around, like a low 90s, 91, 92 or so. You should be comfortable in the academic standpoint. Not to say that you can't do better, and doing better will definitely help you in your application. However, if you have a 91, 92 average and you end up not getting into UBC, the reasoning is likely not because of your grades and is more likely because of your personal profile. And if you're at like the high 80s, I would say you still have a chance, but you do definitely need a stronger personal profile. I do know someone that got an 89 and got into UBC. And, I'm sure there has to be people out there that has like a slightly lower average than that as well. But, if you have like a low 80s or even like a 70s, unfortunately, that would be a very, very hard battle for you going forward, just because I really don't see a world where they would admit a person with that low of an average. However, anything is possible. If you're somehow really, really, really good with your personal profile, then maybe there's a chance. However, personally, I just haven't seen that happen before. So that's all well and good, but I'm sure a lot of you might not even know what programs you want to apply to. And even if you think you do, maybe there's actually a better choice that would actually suit you better. And here comes the second part of the video that I want to mention, which is figuring out what you actually want to apply for. So there's a very useful website given by UBC called u.ubc.ca/programs. This website actually gives you a lot of information about literally every single program that UBC has to offer. And for all of these programs, they provide a lot of useful information that you should probably know prior to actually applying to UBC. So let's actually jump into the website and take a look at what information you should pay attention to. So first, let's talk about how to actually find this website. Now, it's pretty simple. You literally just go onto Google and just type in UBC programs and click enter. And it should be the first option here, right? So let's just click this right here and you can see this is the programs page. Scroll down a little bit, you can see that there's a lot of things you can do here. You can filter by campus. You can filter by the degree. You can also just search whatever program that you might be interested in. And also you can just see there's so many here. Like for example, like for business, there's 21 options here. For Earth, Environment, and Sustainability, there's a freaking 37 options here. So, definitely take your time and just look through all of these names and see if any pique your interest. And let's just say that a couple of them pique your interest. You should definitely look into them more by just clicking onto it and just click View Full Program. So this will actually bring you to another page that has a lot more detail about each of the programs. So for example, I'm doing business and computer science, so let's just use this as an example. So this is business and computer science at UBC's Vancouver campus. Would definitely highly recommend this program, by the way. you should definitely do it if you're interested in this sort of field. Now, here is a couple interesting points that you should take away from this page. The first thing is definitely very simple, the program information. How long is this degree? How does it provide co-op opportunities for you? So just in case you don't know what co-op is basically a full-time paid work internship period for you. So you can basically take a year off of school and just do internships for that whole school year, or half a school year if that's what you want. And that allows you to graduate with some work experience, and that can definitely be very valuable for you after you graduate. And so that's definitely very important. If there's honors or not, which faculty this is under, which degree you'll actually be getting after you finish this program. So these are definitely very important factors. Getting a bit lower, there's more descriptions, blah, blah, blah. We just skip these. I feel like these are less useful, definitely. This one's slightly more useful if you don't know what you're trying to do. With this degree, this might tell you about it. And also right here, there's some related programs. So if this program interests you, but there's something that you don't like about it, maybe check out some related programs. And finally, you got at the bottom here, you got program requirements. So here, there's basically just, the actual minimum requirements that are required if you want to get into this program. So, just choose your province if you're from Canada, or if you're not, just, go to international, find your country, or if you do IB, here's the IB requirements. And so realistically, these you definitely actually need to meet them. If you can't meet these requirements, then honestly, this program is probably not for you. And another thing that you should look at definitely is the related courses. So basically when you apply to UBC, they care about the courses that are degree specific. So these ones, for example, if you want to apply to UBC Sauder School of Business, they care about your English 12th grade, your pre-calc 12th grade, and whatever these courses are, plus your related courses. So these are definitely degree specific. So if you're looking at another program, they may have different related courses. That's totally normal. And so you definitely want to be taking courses that are related to these topics, and especially trying your best to do well in these, because these are the ones that UBC actually care about. And so let's just say you did all of that and you are sure that you're actually quite interested in this program. The final thing I would recommend you doing is actually going back to the top here and looking at the Visit Program website here. So this will actually bring you to another page that gives you even more information about the program. So for example, here, for the combined major in business and computer science, it gives you the application process and admission requirements, a little more details here, some FAQs about the program so that you can actually learn more about it, as well as this part I think is the most important part. These are actually the courses that you will need to take when you're in the program, right? So these are the things that you want to know before you actually apply to a program. You want to know what courses you will actually need to take, if these sound interesting to you, if there's something specifically here that is you deeply despise and you do not ever want to do them, then maybe this program is not for you. And so these are definitely good things to look at prior to actually applying to UBC. All right, and finally, let's talk about the personal profile. This is the other 50% of your application, other than the 50% that was the academic profile, which is your grades. This is more about your experience as a person outside of school. People like to call this by a lot of names, like application essays or personal statements. But for UBC, they like to call it the personal profile. So that's what I'm going to be calling it today. And as I mentioned previously, it is 50% of your application. So it is quite important. And so you definitely want to be paying a lot of attention as to how you write these. Now I'll be making another full-length video just on personal profile, going through how I wrote my personal profile and how you can learn from my mistakes. However, in this video, I'll be just giving a very brief overview on this topic. So if you need more tips on the personal profile, definitely subscribe and check out the video that I have, hopefully out by the time you watch this video, if not very, very soon. Now, the personal profile is your chance to show UBC that you're more than just an academic weapon, You do more things other than just school. You do whatever, you do sports, or you do volunteer, you do community service, whatever you do. you gotta be talking about those experiences. And one thing that people may not know about the personal profile is that UBC actually just tells you what the questions are prior to actually opening applications. That's right, if you go on Google and just type out personal profile UBC, you should be able to find this website here. I'm not gonna say the whole name, it's way too long, but this is a very useful website when you're writing your personal profile. Because not only does it have all the questions before you actually start your application, but more importantly, you're actually given the rubric that you're actually getting marked on. So in order to write a good personal profile, you definitely want to pay attention to these 4 points in order to actually do well in your personal profile. So I'm just gonna very quickly list out all 4 of the criterias. The first one is engagement and achievement. That one is just basically all about you participating in stuff and actually doing well in them. The second criteria is leadership. As the name implies, that just basically means all of your experiences in leadership positions. That might be in a club position, that might be in a community organization, that might be in a school project. So whatever it is, you want to be talking about those experiences. And the third and fourth criteria are very similar. One is substance, one is voice. So substance basically just means that you're not bullshitting. And voice basically just means that you gotta sound genuine and authentic. So basically, that's just saying, please don't ChatGPT, man. Like, please, I beg you. If you're watching this video, I hope you're smart enough to not ChatGPT your personal profile. Cause trust me, they will know. Being genuine and authentic is very important to writing these personal profiles because you have to remember, on the other side of this is an admission officer that is reading like hundreds of these. And so if yours doesn't stand out in a good way and it just sounds like ChatGPT, then respectfully, you probably don't deserve the chance to get into UBC. And so let me just summarize my very quick tips for the personal profile. Make sure, 1, you're talking about your extracurricular and your leadership experiences. Ideally, don't overlap, so don't talk about the same experiences multiple times if you can. If you really have to, try to limit it. Another thing is, remember to not pad out your word count. If you think that something can be removed, it can be removed. Because realistically, it's like 1,500 character counts. That's not that many words. I mean, that's like less than 250 words. You do not want to be wasting those precious characters on a random word that doesn't really mean anything and is just wasting space on your essay. And finally, as I said, please be genuine and not use ChatGPT. Trust me, you will regret it if you do. And if you want more tips on how to write your personal profile or just other aspects of your application process, be sure to watch these videos that I have here. Comment down below if you have any other questions for me. I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you for watching all the way until the end, and I'll see you over there.